So Elon Musk's Twitter sues advertisers over alleged massive advertiser boycott after Twitter takeover.
Oh boy.
So
Wait, hold on. This is the same guy who, in an interview that has been going around the internet a shit ton, literally said, "We don't want you advertising on our platform.
fuck off," were his exact words.
Fuck off. These people are financially blackmailing me with money."
Yeah.
Like, wait, well, hold on. Well, which do you want? Do you want them to advertise on your platform so that you're upset with them boycotting? Or do you want them to boycott and leave so that they're not doing that thing? Man, this sounds like the most divorced fucking man in the world. This is what the most divorced person in the world does and says. Like, actually, you didn't take the kids with you. I disowned them.
Elon, fuck off. Advertisers. Okay. Elon, I'm suing you for fucking off. Yeah, so, well, I mean, so apparently this is about a boycott that happened before he told them to fuck off. But I feel like that's still going to come up in court, being like, he clearly doesn't need our revenue since he told us to fuck off, even though that's not necessarily the event that he's referring to. So, like, that comment's going to bite him in the butt. But yeah, so Elon Musk's social media platform X has sued a group of advertisers alleging that a massive advertiser boycott deprived the company of billions of dollars in revenue and violated antitrust laws. So guy who is allegedly a free speech absolutist is now suing companies to force them to coerce their speech. And since we know from Supreme Court rulings that corporations are people,
yep,
this is compelled speech of people, I guess. Not really people. They're not really people, but if we're going to expect consistency out of the right wing, they're people.
We should just start referring to corporations as people. Like, we get to just start playing the dehumanizing game with them. Because they're not people in the first place, so I mean, it's not really dehumanizing.
Yeah, they, if anything needs dehumanization, it's corporations.
110%.
I like how they call it the company formerly known as Twitter. It's like, and this is Associated Press. Like, they are professional in everything. Like, they are so professional that they retracted their fact check of JD Vance fucking a couch.
JD Vance did not fuck a couch. Well, technically, we don't really know. I mean, he might have, possibly. You know, who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, what if the couch is soft? You know, like, it's right there.
If it's a leather couch, it's soft and supple. You put some lube in the cracks.
Oh, yeah, and I mean, like, at that point, it's just taking care of it, right?
Karen Tuplin says, "Hello, I'm here until the cat decides to come back inside."
Entirely reasonable.
That is relatable. Yeah. Yeah. So Linda Yaccarino, CEO, said, "Oh yeah." First, Musk posted about the lawsuit, saying, "Now it's war." After 2 years of being nice and getting nothing but empty words.
That video was weird.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know, like, advertisers don't owe you their money. Like, okay, little bit of a tangent. Raycon earbuds, they sponsored me a while ago. I got these buds for free. Other creators that they've sponsored, they've gone on to sponsor them long term for several months, sometimes several years. I got the one sponsorship deal that was 2 videos, and they never came back to me for more.
That happens.
Yeah, I have no grounds to sue them for that because they do not owe me their advertising dollars. They do not owe me buying space for them on my platform. Now, if they did come back to me, I'd absolutely take that, because even though Raycons are known for having absolute shit audio quality, I'm not an audiophile and I don't care, but I will tell you, these guys just went through the washing machine and they're fine. They survived. It twice. Like, it was one of those situations where, like, we put the load of laundry on and then forgot about it and came back a couple days later and it's like, oh, now it's smelling kind of musty, so we got to put it on again. So these things survive being washed twice in succession without getting a chance to dry off, and they're fine.
Man, I'm glad to know I'm not the only one that does that.
And I actually, for their ad, I wanted to do a bit where I because they advertise water resistance, they don't advertise waterproof. But I wanted to do a bit where it's like, okay, well, these are the earbuds that I use in the shower. And so I was going to do a thing with that. And they actually told me, no, don't do that. We don't want you to advertise that you use them in the shower, because then people are going to think they can use them in the shower. And I'm like, you know what? They have physical buttons and they survive the washing machine. So I don't care that the sound quality is technically not that great, because I'm not an audiophile.
Yeah, you can hear things in it and it's fine. It's like when people get upset at Blue Yetis. Like Blue Yetis are perfectly serviceable microphones.
Yeah, my channel survived on a Blue Yeti for like 3-4 years.
Yeah, mine survived on a Blue Yeti for a long time too. Like it's a perfectly reasonable microphone to utilize. I don't think there's for most YouTubers, for most applications, there is no reason to upgrade away from a Blue Yeti. The gains that you get past that have such diminishing returns that it's kind of crazy. Like the only types of people who benefit from doing that particular upgrade are people who all of their content is like this and it needs to be perfectly clear
the NPR
at all times. Yeah, they need that voice where it's basically political ASMR.
So my arm's not big enough to get it, but I have the Shure SM7B. The only reason I have this is because somebody bought it for me. I also have an $800 lens on my camera that somebody bought that for me too. I threw it on my wish list as like, I will want to remember this in like 10 years when I have enough money that like spending that kind of money on a lens will be an acceptable thing. And it just showed up on my front doorstep one day. I was so fucking excited when that showed up. Progress Only says Raycons are not good for the quality. You can get Anchor brand ones for like half the price on sale. Yeah, so guess what? I actually have the Anchor brand ones as well, because I lose headphones all the fucking time. That's how the Raycons ended up in the wash. I very much doubt that the Anchor ones would survive the wash. They haven't gone through it yet, but I don't think they would survive. But also, I like that the Raycons have physical buttons, not capacitive touch ones, because a lot of times when I'm listening to stuff, I will be like washing dishes or something, and more than once with the Anchor ones, the capacitive touch, you touch it to pause, and then a little drop of water stays there, and it's like, oh, you are holding it to turn up the volume, and now my eardrums are blown out. So yeah, I'm not gonna say the Anchor ones are shit, because like if you're used to, because like everything's capacitive touch now. That's actually one of the reasons why like the Raycons are my favorite, not necessarily because they are better than the other ones, but because they have a button that only gets pressed when I actually press it. So, yeah. And they haven't given me money. I should sue them. This is an advertisement for them, and they haven't paid me, so I'm suing them, just like Elon Musk is suing his guys. Except they didn't even advertise on him. Like, I don't know, whatever. I have a better case than Elon Musk does for what I just did.
It's a giant, confusing mess. Man, I really wish he had never bought Twitter.
Progress Only says, I'd like a Shure. I don't need a Shure. Yep. Exactly. Like, I think the one that this replaced was like a Rode. It was an entry level, better than the Blue Yeti. But you're not gonna see like Taylor Swift recording an album with this one, whereas with the Shure you might.
Yeah, my Samson Q2 is a dynamic mic that's one of those, like, it's got USB and XLR. You can use it whichever one happens to fit your fancy, and it's very much one of those, like, you buy it for $120 because it's technically better than a Blue Yeti, and you might have a sound system to put it into.
So Sakura says, because a $40 mic that works is enough. Absolutely. I started my channel with, it was a $20 crappy Amazon Chinese brand USB condenser mic.
Was it Fifine?
I don't remember. But it came in a kit with the really, really bad boom arm that like squeaks when you move it.
Yep. It's got all the springs in it and everything. Yeah. There was a mic company that sponsored me really early on into my channel, and it was Fi-Fine. And I found that they do their mics the same way. Like, here's a condenser mic that is like, it's like a tiny bit tinnier than a Blue Yeti in terms of audio quality, but it's still very serviceable. So I shot an entire video using just their microphone instead of my Yeti that I'd been using for the longest time, and found that it was super non-noticeable, especially when you have like background music like I've had for years. It's super hard to tell any of that tinniness at all in any of the content. So I was like, yeah, no, this is the kind of mic that I can just suggest to people who are starting out, because not only do they get a mic, but they're also getting a kit with the mic. The kit sucks, and the mic technically sucks, but like, if the option is that or spend $100 on a Yeti, I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
There's one of those options is better. It's not the Yeti.
Yep. So anyway, the lawsuit allegations center on the early days of Musk's takeover and not a more recent dispute with advertisers that came last year, or came a year later.
An earlier temper tantrum, not the current one.
I love the way they phrase this. Says a number of advertisers began fleeing X over concerns about their ads showing up next to pro-Nazi content and hate speech on the site in general, with Musk inflaming tensions with his own post endorsing an anti-Semitic conspiracy theory. This next part is the best. Musk later said those fleeing advertisers were engaging in blackmail and, using a profanity, essentially told them to go away.
Using a profanity.
Way to dance around.
Man, there's a word for that. It's a very particular word for what profanity he used.
I'm just picturing, like, yeah, if you have a quota or something on how much profanity you're allowed to use, you like walk in and like, I will take one profanity, please.
I mean, that's like how PG-13 movies are rated in the United States. They're allowed one instance of the word fuck.
Yeah. So fun fact, I think it was X-Men First Class, when Hugh Jackman's cameo in that, he did that on the condition that he got to use the one F-bomb they were allowed.
Yep.
So that's why when Magneto and Charles walk up to him, he just says fuck off, and then they leave. That's why. He used a profanity.
One profanity, please. Just one. Man, if there's one thing I would love about shooting movies, it would be being in the conversation of where we are technically allowed to place the fuck. Where would we get the most bang for our fuck?
I'm sorry, Luigi. I didn't see your joke, but yes, Luigi said I would like one profanity, please.
Just one.
Just one. Yeah, that was great. But speaking of Hugh Jackman, did you see the Deadpool and Wolverine?
Yes, I did. I went on a date night with Saki this last Sunday and watched it.
We went on Thursday. Yeah. How did you find it?
I liked it a lot.
George Carlin's Seven Squares joke here.
So it felt like you watched No Way Home, right?
Nope.
You didn't watch Spider-Man No Way Home?
Nope.
Okay. So I was going to say...
I have not seen a single Marvel movie since Endgame. This was the first one.
Damn. Because I was going to say that it felt like watching No Way Home again, but for, a different style of movie. Because you know what happens in No Way Home, I'm hoping, right? Like, it's kind of all over the internet.
No.
Do you care if I spoil it for you?
No.
The Spider-Men from the first two Spider-Man franchises come in and integrate into the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so I have seen a clip of this where there's where what's his face shows up and they actually like have a pause in the movie because they're expecting the people in the theater to clap, but it's like if you're watching it just at home on TV, it's like, why is there a pause there?
And I watched it in theaters and there was a clap when Tobey Maguire showed up. 110%.
Yeah.
And hopefully I'm not spoiling this for anybody who's not seen this all over the internet. Fuck off. But the watching Deadpool and Wolverine felt a little bit like that when there was the sequence where all of the other forgotten Marvel characters came on screen. Like that was it was a lot of that where I was like,
yeah. So
this is for people who liked the old Marvel movies 100%.
So my take on it, and my partner shares this view, is that it was a fun movie. It was enjoyable. Like I'm not expecting high art from the Marvel Cinematic Universe at this point. But it's not a movie that, like, if you see it in isolation 50 years from now, will make any sense.
It's a movie that is entirely based on the culture of the movies around it.
Yeah.
And not just the culture of the movies around it in the MCU. It's based on the 90s and early 2000s Marvel ventures.
Have you seen the Ryan George pitch meeting for it?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, so I one of the things is, like, you know, like, they're talking about all the cameos or whatever, and like, and we got Channing Tatum to play Gambit. And wait, Channing Tatum didn't play Gambit. No, but he was going to, so this is going to be a great cameo for people that followed casting news very closely in 2015. It was... I love Ryan George. Ryan George is the greatest.
That was I will say his take on Gambit, though.
It was very good, yes.
It was perfect for especially for all of the memes that have come out of just his awful fake accent.
Yes,
for the character.
The accent was just beautiful.
Oh,
it was
I'm about to make a name for myself.
But that's the thing, though. So my partner and I do not follow casting news very, very closely. So we're like, there's this movie just full of all these cameos. Why are they getting Channing Tatum for Gambit? Why not the guy who actually played Gambit? And then it wasn't until we got home that it was like, oh, that's right. He was supposed to play Gambit, but they canceled that movie.
So in Yu-Gi-Oh, we don't get a ton of new cards now. Like, we still do, but a lot of what Konami tries to do with Yu-Gi-Oh is they'll go, here's the new fresh cards, and also here's some support for Dark Magician because you liked that 30 years ago. Here's some support for Harpy Ladies because we didn't know how to make decks back then, but we do now. So buy these cards and you can play this stuff that you saw on TV when you were a kid. Don't you like it? So there's this meme going around that's just Yu-Gi-Oh players when their favorite old washed up archetype gets a couple new cards of support. Oh, I'm about to make a name for myself now.
But that's the thing. I kind of want to see it again because, like, all of those jokes about him, like, because I remember he was like, he's talking so much about, like, how he's going to be remembered and everything. Like, and I was sitting there feeling like I wasn't getting the joke, and indeed I wasn't. But now I feel like I need to go back and see it again. My partner's favorite cameo was Ryan Reynolds' wife was Lady Deadpool, and she never took her mask off. But, like, as soon as she came out, she's like, "Oh, I'll bet you that's his wife."
I think my favorite thing where the movie was concerned was I mean, obviously the first two Deadpool movies were like this, but I like that they moved away from just Deadpool's the guy that knocks on the fourth wall all the time, and they went, no, the jokes are going to be very meta humor. Like, if you understand some of the culture around this shit, you're going to get the joke, and it's going to be very funny. And I think that's way funnier than just Deadpool knocking on the
we're spoiling things for Van Briggs. So
can you guys do a thumbs up when done talking about Deadpool? Fair.
Yeah. Okay, we can stop talking about it now. Let's okay, Van Briggs, you can come back now. I'm sorry.
Rhapsody says, sounds like Yu-Gi-Oh! Bridge darts. I need you to find Yugi Matao and cut his deck in half.
Yeah. Okay, so Musk used a profanity. And then Unilever, one of the companies that is named in the lawsuit, in their statement, they were like, yeah, no platform has a right to our advertising dollar. Like, we're not boycotting you because some group told us to. We're just like, no.
Yeah.
And being a YouTuber who takes sponsorships, sometimes people say no to me. Also, being a YouTuber who takes sponsorships, sometimes I say no to people. That's the real fun part.
I've had no less than 2 propositions from an NFT game called Big Time. And each time I'm just
as soon as you said NFT game, I'm like, oh, no, absolutely not.
Just like, y'all are barking up the wrong tree. I'm sorry.
So there's actually a third-party game controller maker that is trying to, like, they're like, oh, hey, give me your address and stuff, and I'll send you a free controller. And I'm debating whether or not to actually respond to them, because like one of the issues there is that I think they want me to do just a review video. I'm like, no, that's not going to be good for me, and that's not going to be good for you, because like that's not my channel. Like, anytime I have done any sort of deviation from that, it has just sucked. Like, I did a joke review of the of like one of the I think it was an RTX 3080 when I got it, and I like, the whole thing was just like, wouldn't it be funny if I like smashed the box pretending that it was still in there because I couldn't open it? And it was stupid, and it barely got any views. Some gamer chair company sent me a chair, and they were supposed to send me a kickback when people purchase things through my link. Never got any of that. I know at least 5 or 6 people bought chairs after watching my video. Never saw a penny of it. But I got a free chair that absolutely sucked, and I gave it away immediately. Yeah, no, and that video got like 3,000 views at a time when my regular videos were getting like 25,000 views. So like, no, I don't do review videos anymore. Like, I'm just done with that. But at the same time, I also have 5 kids and a Nintendo Switch, and not enough controllers for all of them. So some of them are stuck using the Joy-Cons and or whatever. So like, maybe I could get another one. But
at that point, though, like,
if they want to pay me for a 2-minute ad at the beginning, sure. Apparently they use Hall Effect joysticks. Love Hall Effect joysticks. I will happily suck your dick about Hall Effect joysticks. But
I can always offer a wonderful suggestion. I'm a fan of wired controllers. I'm not really a big fan of wireless controllers.
Our living room's too big for that. There's no wire long enough to get to the couch.
Really?
I mean, you could get one, but like, I don't know. My house is very inefficient when it comes to space usage. Like, all the rooms are just like a little bit too big.
Fair. Oh, so for context, the way that for my bedroom, for instance, TV is on the far side of the wall, but the switch is behind the bed. We have the HDMI cord going up and over so that no animal can run through the wire. Because I like using wired controllers, I would sit there on my game, whatever game I'm playing, Growlithe would come barreling in and just like, she'd see the cord and go, yes, it's a finish line, and ram through it and just rip the switch off. Thank God those things are made of Nintendium and it didn't break.
They're designed for kids.
She's done this. Yeah, they're designed for kids to screw with them all the time. But I'm not gonna lie, it got to a point where I was like, this can't happen anymore. This is going to end up breaking something. So we were like, okay, let's just get a 25-foot HDMI cord, hook it into the back of the TV, run it up the ceiling, run it behind the bed, install a shelf next to the bed, put the switch there, and then hook the controllers there, put a hook in the wall that hangs the wires for the actual controller so that there's no fucked up space. Everything is consolidated.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is the controller I use. It's the Ghillie Kit King Kong. Hall Effect joysticks. Love Hall Effect joysticks. It's good. I like it. It can do wireless or wired. I definitely prefer it wired. But it depends what I'm playing. Like, if I'm doing Final Fantasy VII, you don't need quick reaction time for that game. So like, the couple milliseconds delay from it being wireless is fine.
It's not 10 o'clock, Growlithe. Why are you here?
No, it's 9:06 and we're still on the first news item.
We are,
and we've barely even talked about the first news item. We've just been talking about like Deadpool and
hi. Hi, child.
Now we're just
You ready to
watching
go outside?
Suris make out with his
Thank
dog.
you.
Hi, Suris.
Come on, bro.
Okay, I guess while we're waiting for Suris, I'll give a review of the Ghillie Kit thing. It's okay. Like that's the thing though. Like I don't even know how to review a controller. I'm just like the inputs do what I tell them to do. And the lag was either good or bad. Like that's all I know. I'm like Hall effect, yeah. Like I like the Hall effect because it's not subject to drift as time goes on. Now this thing though, like you can actually see like there's a crack down the side because I have dropped this thing so many times and the plate started kind of like separating. But like the fact that it's still going after how many times I've dropped it, kind of impressive actually. What do I think about Elgato mics? I think they're probably fine. I've never used one.
Ugh.
So yeah, I don't know for sure. I think Shannon Q uses one. I don't know if she still makes content. Oh, there's the hats. Hi, Cute Dark Arts.
I am back
You're
for
back.
reasons beyond my control.
Yeah, I think I've decided not to take the controller sponsorship because while you were gone, I was trying to give my review of the controller that I use regularly, and I'm just like, I don't even know what to say about it. Like, when I press a button, the thing that the button is supposed to do happens. That's what happens. And that's what controllers are supposed to do, so I'm happy. So, like...
I feel like at that point, the way you would have to spin it is, it's got almost lagless response time. The buttons they give very good feedback. You know when you're clicking one.
Here's the thing.
It doesn't know.
I didn't even know that I was going to be a lag, like a response time. What's the word?
Connoisseur?
Connoisseur, sure. A response time connoisseur. Until so I was playing with it wired. I was playing Hollow Knight with it wired for ages. Latency. That's the word. Latency. Thank you, Neurobic.
I mean, I feel like if you're playing Hollow Knight, that's automatically a reason to be concerned.
Okay. Yeah. But so I was playing. So I started Hollow Knight out in the living room on the Switch. Whatever. Eventually, I was like, oh, I want to get into mods. So I installed it on my computer and started playing it here. And I was just like, I have a USB-C cord just hanging off my computer because I plug shit into it all the time with it. So I'm going to, like, may as well just use it plugged in because then I don't ever have to worry about the battery dying. And then at some point, I forget why, but I started playing wireless again. And I was like, oh my God, I'm suddenly really, really bad at this game that I was actually pretty decent at. Like, does the latency actually make that big a difference? Yes, it does. And I didn't even notice it until I had low latency of having it plugged in.
Yep. That's so fun fact, back when I used to play a lot of League of Legends, I played on whatever PC I had at the time, which was like, at that point it was a shitty laptop with integrated graphics, and the most I could get out of the game was maybe 20 frames a second. If people weren't, yes, in League of Legends,
I'm not even a gamer. I know that's pathetic.
If people weren't fighting, if people were actively engaged in a fight, it dropped down to like 10. So I could barely play the game. Now, the reason why this matters so much is there was a time where a friend of mine asked me to come over to his house and we were going to play League together. And I was like, cool, yeah, I'll come over there. We'll hang out. It'll be a grand old time. He needed to go make dinner. And he was like, hey, if you want to play on my PC for a bit, because it's, you know, it's super strong. It plays really well. And I was just like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I have adjusted to playing on hot potato garbage. And if I learn how it feels to play on something competent, I will never be able to go back. I need to continue playing on shit. It's all I've got.
Luigi's saying you can also talk about the design. What design? All the controllers look like this now. Like there's slight shape variations depending on whether it's designed for PC, Switch, or Xbox or PlayStation.
It's designed like a controller.
Like it
controls video games.
Like the
great.
design of this one is exactly the same as the Nintendo Pro controllers, except it's got a couple extra buttons because it's got macros, and that one doesn't. I never use the macros because I'm not a gamer. The only thing I do is I make it so that the right trigger will, like, if I hold it down, it acts as though I'm pressing it repeatedly, because then when dashing in Hollow Knight, I just hold the button down and I dash, 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 dash. That's it. That's the only special feature I use though. Okay. Moving on.
Hey, just wanted to give a quick thank you to all of my wonderful patrons who help keep me afloat and help keep this channel going. YouTube and Twitch are wonderful platforms, but at the end of the day, stability is not one of their strong suits. If you want to support my channel, then obviously Patreon is one of the best ways of doing that. Link is in the description. But I do want to personally thank everybody who has contributed to the channel. Those people would be Red Joker, Purple Poundini, Jemshin, Britzkrieg, Jupe the Malignant, Michael, Ravalern, Mabbity Babbity, Astral Frontier, Autumn and Angel, Nixie Chan, Mark Anthony, Victorian Alchemist, I'm not saying the last part of that, and you know that, Arcton Arclacier, Kiratorian, Dren Hadamata, Jordan M, John L, Lord Bleck, Smiling Game Master, and Fireshard. And everyone else who supports my channel and lets me do what I do full time. This is a dream job of mine that I never believed that I would be able to take full time, and with your help, I've been able to do it. So thank you so very much for that. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you all enjoy, and I hope you all are having a wonderful time. I will see you all in the next one, hopefully.